Hey, it's Matt Cook. In this video, I'm going to talk about why traditional stretching methods may not have worked for you, even though you may have tried them for many years, maybe even decades of your life. The primary reason is because traditional stretching methods are these purely physical approaches that identify shortened muscles and then look at people who are like healthy and not in pain and observe that these people have longer muscles and then conclude that, well, if we've got a short muscle that's in pain, we can, lengthen that, stretch it so that it becomes longer to be similar to the person who's not in pain and healthy, and then that's going to solve the problem. And this method can get a lot of momentum and a lot of credibility because this method can work very well for certain types of people. If you take like just a child or a teenager who hasn't really had that much pain, let's say, in life, or just experience, then they've got these like gentle, soft muscles, and you just kind of like stretch them, and then the hips, the joints just respond accordingly. They just open nicely. The muscles just become longer, and it's like, yeah, look how well stretching works. And you look at all these like gymnasts and dancers and yoga people, and they're always stretching, and they do more stretches and they become more flexible. So it's clear that stretching can be effective. There's no denying that. But the problem is, for people who have actual, chronic pain syndromes, you can't just pull on a muscle in that traditional way and expect it to happily just lengthen like it would for, like a teenager training gymnastics or something like that. It's just not going to happen because there are so many barriers. The joints are just like locked up, and the way that the brain operates the muscles and understands the muscles is in like this complete tangled mess. So what you've got when you've got lack of flexibility coupled with pain is not just a muscle that's shortened. You've got a very complex, let's say complex and convoluted arrangement of your muscles and your nervous system and brain and emotions and thought patterns, etc., all kind of like locking the muscles into this kind of like tangled mess of chaos, right? And it's kind of like a ball of wool, yarn that's all just like tangled up, and you would never ever think that you could just come up to that and just kind of like pull on it and expect it to just go, oh. It would never ever happen, okay? So when you try these approaches, you probably can get some results, but they tend to be temporary, right? Because muscles are elastic and muscles do lengthen, right? So if you pull on them, they do get longer. But what you'll find is that after a couple of days or whatever, it's just going to go back. And then you're going to find that you need to put yourself in this like chronic stretching routine for like hours a day, performing these like repetitive stretches to keep your muscles long or something like that. And it's basically ultimately a waste of time because it kind of like puts a band-aid on some symptoms, but it doesn't do anything for the root cause, right? So if you want flexibility, there's really no point doing a flexibility method that is just about stretching, okay? And when I say just about stretching, I mean just about the idea that you're just going to put this load on the muscles and then make some physical transformation in the muscles and they were going to become longer and then you don't have pain or something like that and have long, healthy muscles and it stays like that. It's never, ever, ever going to happen. Okay? So what you need to do is you need to do a mind, body, emotions approach that is oriented towards you reconnecting with your body, understanding your body, feeling your muscles and your joints, getting to know how they work, observing all the different ways, all the different instances of pain and how all those instances of pain are connected to lengthening and shortening, contracting of muscles and different movement patterns, etc., and different moods and different emotions and different moments in your life, and just going through this massive observation phase so you can really get to, know what's going on with your body. Then beginning to analyze it and understand it, see all the connections, make sense of things. That's just kind of like one level. And you're doing this in you're analyzing your movement, you're analyzing your emotions, you're analyzing your mind, and you're putting it all together, right? So when I teach flexibility, or when I do flexibility training for myself, and I should cover even before I go into this, I'm not like the world's most flexible person or anything like that. Like, I've always had this insecurity that people would look at me and be like, hey, he's not so flexible. I see gymnasts and dancers and yoga teachers who are way more flexible. And what credibility does he have? And it's like, the credibility that I used to be, a lot of physical pain and completely inflexible, and now I'm reasonably flexible and more flexible than most people and in a lot less pain than before. It's not about, the type of flexibility that I teach is not about, becoming a yoga teacher or a gymnast. It's not like that. It's just getting away from terrible flexibility and getting back to normal and even a bit above that where you're like, yeah, this is really nice. I'm enjoying this. I feel good in my body, okay? So the way I teach flexibility, the way I perform flexibility is basically you can take any of those traditional positions, but instead of launching into the positions and really believing that just apply load and they become longer, it's just gently moving into the position, into the stretch, very gently. I'm talking with 5% of the load, 1% of the load, 0.5, 0.1% of the load, just minimal moving into this, and just staying there for a considerable amount of time, 10, 20, 30 minutes, 1 hour or something like that, and using that as an opportunity to observe how, what is going on with the body in this lengthened position, right? And when you do it like that, you're really, it's not just static, it's very, very dynamic, right? So it brings in everything, it brings in your mind and your emotions and your movement patterns, and you are very, very conscious of what's happening, right? You're observing all this in real time. It's so slow and so gentle that it really gives you the opportunity to observe what's happening and make sense of it all and notice all the things. And what you find is that as you observe and as you analyze and as you have realizations and epiphanies about what's going on with your body and your emotions and your mind and how it's all connected, things start to just calm down and release, right? It's you could almost say that it's the combination of meditation and very soft stretching. I've always thought that, meditation is really lacking in the sense that it doesn't have the movement and the body into it. So it is, in a way, it's kind of a combination. But yeah, so, with this approach, this conscious stretching, where you're really conscious of everything that's going on, you can make a stretch out of anything, and you can you can get flexibility with any sort of movement of your body that it lengthens your muscles just a slight amount, because you just like begin the process and something's lengthened and it's like, whoa, everything just lights up and you start observing and analyzing and understanding and your body and your mind and your emotions. So it's really quite magical. Okay, so the reason this video exists, by the way, is because in a few days I will be making public my new program, Conscious Stretching Rapid Flexibility. It's going to be an awesome flexibility training. It's specifically intended for people in pain. All right, so if you're watching right now, it's specifically intended for you. Okay, it's not at all meant for people with no pain who just want to do, stretches like load on the muscles. It's not that at all, okay? It's just going to be ideal for someone in pain, okay? So next couple of days, we've got 2 more videos going. Just look out for those, and then boom, 3 days from now, there's going to be a very cool promo video that shows all the different stretches that are involved and explains the big idea really concisely, tells you what results you can expect, etc., etc. So look out for it. I hope you will enjoy the program. I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a good day.